Hi everyone, welcome to the third session of DCKAP Integrator Foundation series. So today we'll be covering the advanced session on connecting systems. Let me share my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. So before getting started, let's have a quick recap. In the last session, we have discussed like what is system, what do we call system in DCKAP Integrator, how to add or edit system, and the overview of API and credentials. So today, what you can expect is, today by the end of this session, you can bring your own system and connect without any hassle. So today we'll be covering 4 major topics. First is the private system setup. Second is the API basics, managing credentials, and testing connections. So coming to the private system, last time we have discussed like system is any live application that is available in e-commerce and manufacturing and distribution space, right? So we even show like how it looks like in DCKAP Integrator. So this is the uh, integrator screen. So today I'll be using this project, Workshop 3, connecting system project. So I hope you are familiar with this screen. So this is the system page. Okay, so whenever we need to create any system, we need to come here, click on add system. So this is the familiar screen now. Here you can see some list is there. So these are predefined system. Okay, that previously, DCKAP integrator is connected with. So let's say if you don't get your system in this list, then you need to opt for private system. How you can do that? You can even put your system in the search box, or you can drag, and here is the option, add private system. So you can click on it. So this screen will come up. So this screen is known as system manager screen. Okay, so today we'll learn like how we can set up the system using this screen. So here we'll see 3 steps. Okay, so the first step is we'll register our system and define our system. So how we can do that? Can you see this section here? The first thing is we'll define our system. So let's say for today's session, I'm using Shopify system. So I'll give here my system the name My Shopify. Okay. And even like you can give the logo. So this option is there. You can select the logo from your computer and you can give that. Right now I'm skipping this. The next step is the authentication type. You remember in the last session, we have discussed like when we are setting up a system, when DCKAP integrator trying to connect to a system, it can happen only when API is available. So authentication system is required because it can give access, like how we can connect to the system. So here you can see this eye icon, small icon. You can even hover over it and see like how it is applicable. So authentication process validate the identity of client. So it validates like who you are, whether we need to, whether like system need to give you the access or not. So this is there, and it basically depends on the API. So in API, we give header that it gives you the access like that. So that's how it works. So in this section, you'll see there are couple of authentication type. So basically some system, it depends on system to system. Some system use username and password. Some system uses a special network connection. Some system uses cookies. Some system uses token. So it really depends. But DCKAP Integrator support all these authentication types. So here you can see this. Out of these, two are really common and people use it on day-to-day basis. So one is the no auth. It is for the static tokens. And the next one is OAuth 2.0. So this is for the dynamic tokens. So that's how authentication type work. Now, after this, we have host name from the credential. So here also you can see. So we used to obtain host name while user give the credentials. And whenever you set up the credential on the credential page, so this section will get the host name from that. So this is really effective when, let's say, you have multiple environment. For example, you have staging environment, you have production environment. In that case, it is like really helpful. But let's say if you don't want to give it, it is okay. Here you can give the complete URL with the host name. Or in another words, we can say the endpoint. This section will discuss like how you can give that. And if you want to keep the status on for your system you are setting up, it's fine. If not, it's also fine. It depends upon whether you want to show it in your workflows or not. So here you can see view advanced button. So till here, so these steps you need to do. If you do this, it means like, your registration is almost like halfway. Now the next step is API basics. So let's say you have two systems and you want to connect these two systems. Okay, so API is like the bridge that connect your one system to another, right? But the private system prepare that bridge so that the connection happens smoothly. So that is why private system is there. So here you can see for API thing, we need to ensure these fields are like, we need to fill these fields carefully. So here you can see token failure status code. So when DCKAP integrator try to connect to a system, it generates token that can provide access. Okay, so you can imagine like token is like a movie ticket. So nowadays we can do it, we can book the movie ticket using application, but in the previous time we used to go to the counter and get the movie ticket and we show it in the theater, then only we get access to watch the movie, right? So same way here, whenever we connect one, whenever DCKAP integrator trying to hit the API so that it can connect the system you are setting up, it generate token. If that token is able to access the system, it will show you 200 code, which means connection successful. Let's say for any reason, if it is not able to do that, in that case, it will give you like 400 or 401. So there can be like multiple reason behind that. If the token is missing, or let's say if it is invalid, in those type of scenario, you can get that. So the next is the timeout thing. So you can relate it in a way, let's say DCKAP integrator, when it tries to connect the system to the system you are you are registering. So in that case, how much time it will wait so that it can get the response. So this timeout section is about that only. So here you can see two sections. So this one represent connection timeout. This one represent read timeout. Here also you can see the information. So in the simple way, you can sense it like that. So connection timeout is like when we call someone and we are waiting so that our call can be picked up. So that wait time, we are waiting someone picks up the call. Okay, so this is what connection timeout. It tries to connect. Okay, read timeout is like when someone calls and waiting for the call to pick up. Call got picked up, but it is waiting for response of his question. So that is the read timeout. If you want to give the description of your uh, system, short description, like this is like you want to recognize later on, so then you can give it here in this tab. So till here it is like we are setting up the private system, and we have registered, we have filled all the basics of API. We have started with. Now coming to the test connection. So test connection is like the API is used to check if DCKAP integrator is successfully connected to your system or not. So that is what test connection is like. So it uses API to check if the system is connected with your integrator or not. So here you'll see the request method here, like get, put, post, delete, patch, and this section is for where you'll give the URL. For the request method, it's like it tells API what to do. So get is to retrieve the data, post is to create the data, put is to update, delete is to delete, like that. So here we need to give the like relative URL or endpoint. So first I would like to tell you the difference. Here you can see this is the endpoint. How we came to this, host name is like this. It's like shopify.com, https://api.shopify.com. Okay, so this is the host name, the overview level. And relative URL is very specific. It's like, version 1 orders you need to check. So when we include both of these together, it will create an endpoint. So here we'll give the endpoint if we are selecting get host name from credential as no. Here we'll give that. But let's say if we are saying get host name from credential as yes, then here you just need to give the relative URL. Right now I'm putting the relative URL here. So after this section, here you can see params, header, body, error handler we are not covering today. And here are keys, value, label. These sections are there. So key is the technical name that API uses to identify the value. So you can see these fields are almost same, okay, in param, header, and body. Value is like the actual data being sent, and label is the name that describes the data. Okay, so this is the meaning of these three fields. Now coming to the params. So params are like extra instruction we are providing to API so that we can tell API specifically what do you need to do. So how can we do that? We'll give those type of extra instruction in relative URL. Here also you can see, customers. Consider it as a placeholder. Whenever we'll hit it, whenever we are using this, the API connection, in that case, you'll be getting the customer ID in the JSON format. So like that, the params work. Very specific thing we'll ask API to do. That is what params is about. Now the next is the header. So header is very important. We have discussed like in authentication type also, we need to tell about the header. So I forgot to choose authentication type here. I'll be choosing basic authentication because today I want to use like username and password. For that purpose, basic authentication will do. So when we talk about the header, this is where we define key details the API need to understand the request. So it's like asking who you are, and so that it can speak the same language. So since we have chosen the basic authentication, let's see how can we do that. So I'm using username. So this is what API understands. Okay, I'm selecting get from credential option here in the value, and here I'll type username as a label. So here I'm using capital U. The next is the password. Same get from credential and here password. So that whenever someone wants to um, access the system, they need to give username, password, and it should match. Then only they'll be able to get access. The next is the content type. So it is like we are telling Shopify that in this type of format, we are sending our content or data. So here we'll be using application slash JSON because we are saying we'll be sending our data in the JSON format. So same thing here, content type and as a label. Now the next is accept. Accept is like we are telling the Shopify system. Here we are, registering the Shopify system. So that's why I'm using Shopify system. So we are saying to the Shopify system that we accept, integrator accept the data in the JSON format. So that's what we need to do here. So the header is all set. Now coming to the body. So body is like whenever we send data to the server. So this is mostly applicable for put and post request. So right now we are not using uh, body in this case. And I would like to highlight one point here. So one of the best practices is whenever we are testing connection, okay, always use get API request. This is really important. So when we save it, you'll get this page. So this is what the credential page. So last time we discussed that, the credential page differ for the differ system. So today I'll tell you why. Because it is not like that it differ for different system. It is like whatever authentication type we select, here the fields will vary according to that. So here you can see the system detail, whatever we have filled in the previous screen, it will reflect here. And here we'll type the Shopify credentials. We're giving the name. Now for the host name, I have some dummy credential. You need to put it yours by checking your system. So here, host name. Make sure the time zone should be accurate and as per your needs. Username. And here is the password. And we'll save it. So now credentials are all set. So you'll see this here. Okay, so after doing all this, you'll see here the health checkup. So health checkup is like whenever integrator trying to connect to your system, it checks if it is able to connect or not. It will ping the system and see if the connection is there or if there is any issue. Let's say if it is not able to establish the connection, it will send you the email to the project owner and admin, like, this system is not able to connect, so that you can check it. So here you can see the configure tag here whenever you open it. So you can set, the ping interval, 30 minutes, 1 hour, like that. So let's say for this thing, we'll set up for like 12 hours. So every 12 hours, it will ping the server to see if the connection is there or not. So I'm saving it. Now the test connection. So after all this is done, Okay, so the next step is to check whether things are working or not. For that, test connection is there. Here, one point to note is that you'll see here this tab. So it is about the token. So as I told you, whenever integrator wants to connect to the uh, system, it generate token. Okay, so here you'll see some option like fresh token, existing token. It will use same token, let's say until it expires. But let's say if you want to try it with the fresh token, you can also do that. So here I'm trying with the fresh token, and you'll see the connection is successful. So that's how you can register and create secure environment of your system within the DCKAP integrator. You can even check the logs. So to sum up, I can say that private system help you to define and register your system. API helps you to communicate, okay, like integrator to your system. And testing connection confirm whether your setup is established or not. And then credential ensure you have a secure access so that you can use your system effectively. So now I'll open for the Q&A and see if you have any questions. Okay, one more thing. So we have this resource page. Here you'll get all the product related tutorials and content material. So we have also this, we have also the article on common errors in integrator. Let's say if you are stuck while using integrator, you got some message. So you can always refer this page to resolve the issue or to better stay ahead of the time. And also we have must reads for manufacturers and distributor. So these are like industry related insights which can keep you ahead in your field. So you can always check it out. Thank you so much. I'll conclude it here then if you don't have any question. Thank you.